I just want to, thank you guys for having me. Noppera wrote me this morning and asked me to jump on, so I was happy to do so. And just want to shout out all the community engagement you guys have been doing. We really appreciate it. And we're getting ready to ramp things up here as Season 0 rolls out, which will introduce the first full extraction loop inside the open world. And there's a bunch of cool other stuff coming following that. So excited to be here, and we look forward to doing more of this more often as we move forward.
Now, when you say full extraction loop, is that related to the post of banking in the mild that was posted in banking in mild in an ATM that was posted on the main Wilder World account through a video? Is that related to the extraction loop that you were referring to and the shards?
Yeah, so essentially with Season 0, the idea is that we will have this kind of dry run before bringing the full extraction loop on chain. So it will be in the open world and it will be multiplayer. And there will be breaches happening, which most people are familiar with. It's kind of these occupied zones that the Form agents are coming in and taking over parts of the city. And the agents will drop different types of loot, consumables, shards, which can be then extracted. And then they'll also be dropping this kind of demo test currency, which is called mild. So, the core kind of loop, just to simplify, would be you go on these runs. You can go solo or with other folks in the lobbies, and then you can fight the agents, and then they will drop either consumables, mild, and shards. And then in order to complete the extraction, you'll have those in your backpack. And then your backpack is essentially at risk until you get back to Agora Alley, which will have all the various facilities. So there's a storage facility. You can move things from your master inventory in and out of your backpack. And then there's a bank, which is Meridian Financial, and you'll be able to put the mild.
In your mild.
You'll be able to.
Which is exactly how it links back to the video. That is
exactly.
Cool. That is.
And then there's also a neural station called EZK, which is a video we just posted prior to the stream, and that shows where you can actually extract a shard for a piece of gear, and that will cost a small mild fee.
Okay, I think I might have seen that. Since we have it right here, I think I might have you just posted it on the main account?
Yeah.
Literally 30 minutes ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Literally 30 minutes ago. Alright, we're playing the video on the stream, and I do see the data splitting drop shards below for extractions, and then you're extracting bits and parts of the armor of the agent and potentially weapon extensions, right? Is that how it's gonna?
Yeah, so you'll be able to get different gear that's in packs, so all the armor, and then you'll be able to get different weapons and attachments, and then there's corresponding rarity for each shard. So the rarity for the shards will map to all of the weapons, attachments, and gear, and then you'll be able to extract an item at that rarity tier.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. What do you think?
That interface looks so clean.
I know, right?
It blows my mind. Early days, every time we get these new things, because it's always about like linking it up, isn't it? That's why it's a process. This is what I tell a lot of people, right? We needed packs to have the inventory, and then we had the inventory to make loadouts. It's all been there, but it's about linking it up once one thing's fully functional, right? And now we're at that stage. We're at a stage. I'm literally watching it work in an inventory system, in shop management, turning that new, like the shards in, make the item. The loop's here. We're here.
Yeah, exactly. So,
as a famous man always says, and a very wise man, this is it, King. This is it.
This is it. Who
This
says
is,
that?
this is
it.
exactly it. This is exactly
This is
it.
it.
This is it,
This is
Frank.
it.
Just to fill you in on the context, this is King's literal catchphrase. Last stream, I did want to task somebody to have a counter up by the stream to count every single time King says "this is it," because every few minutes he's like "this is it, this is it, this is it," and yeah, I was getting hyped.
It's gonna be this is it in Miami now. I'm telling you.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
this is
Yeah.
That's great. This is the loop, right? We've been waiting for a lot of these. You know, we always knew that there were going to be vendors, shops, and now we've got the locations. The locations went from being, you know, like when everyone used to glitch in from the PvP rebellion, we always thought, hey, but some of these areas look a bit unpopulated, a bit barren. And then we've seen you go in, repopulate, change everything, make these places look unique when you go down each alleyway. And now we're seeing people, we're seeing vendors. It's all coming together. And this season 1 is, you know, like, this is going to be great. This is going to be us literally just growing. We're growing, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And,
yeah, exactly. And I think, so yeah, obviously from here, there can be like different types of missions and breaches and difficulty, and further runs might yield better shards and loot and things like that. So, those are kind of the things. And then the map also, we've been hard at work on to get the whole map opened up. So that's a key priority after this.
Huge.
And then all the other kind of key locations that we've seen previously, like the Hydro Link, the all the various Rebellion maps. So the beginning and then Droid. So all this stuff's going to come in some form in subsequent releases, which I think will be really big, and different types of key locations. Like we have a black market that will introduce. This is all kind of following the Season 0 release, but just so you guys have an idea. So the black market would be like a player-to-player marketplace where you can trade and list gear. So yeah, this is really the base, and I think the main thing that will change is like we have something strong to work with, and we've been kind of like, I guess prior to releasing Rebellion, we were in like a deep development mode, and then with Rebellion, we started to do the game nights more, and kind of there was obviously the tournament. So I think we learned a lot there, and then at the beginning of the year, we kind of then went. The focus was to really get it all into the open world so we could have the driving, the shooting, and then as you said, King, like, yeah, this kind of interactive element with the shops and things. So I really think the big shift here is with Season 0 is going from kind of just like development into having a more active kind of dialogue with the community. We do have the dev portal and things like that, but we really want to shift into having more events like this, having more game nights, and then really starting to polish the loop and bring things online with the community, because that's what, I guess that's just like the stage of product development we're entering, which is pretty exciting because, as you said, we kind of need this. This is it. We need this. But once this is in with Season 0, we can start to really refine the loop and, further build out everything.
It's just going to scale from there, isn't it? Like, you're about to 10x the map. You've got the entirety of the island. And for those that do not know, the island is the part of Miami, the big strip, multiple mega cities, and some parts are ownable land. But that's like 1/3 of an entire map that's coming later. So for a first step, you're about to 10x the current space. Open world's already a huge experience for a lot of us that are currently in there playing it. So when they 10x that map, all these things, these loops, they're going to scale with that. There's going to be loads of places for people to go about breaches there. And then I've already seen what you do with development when you want to make something look more interesting and less the same, right? Like, you've already got that spark and you're nailing it. And now the core loop's coming in, scale the map, optimize, get that going across the whole map. That'll add, reasons for everyone to not be so clustered, so it won't be so aggressive. Otherwise, we're all going to fight over the same pool, right? Which is what we're going to be doing soon. But like, this is crazy because this is the point, right? This is the bones. Now the meat's coming.
This
Yeah,
is
exactly.
it. That's what you
This
can
is
say
it.
about it. This is
This
it
is
indeed,
it,
and
bro.
I don't know, King. I'm surprised you didn't make a comment that Frank was saying this is it just a bit earlier. I could have sworn you were gonna say clip that, but the chat is very much catching on to your catchphrase as well. Dirty Man is like this for real, undeniably, hands down, goat mode, and for all the marbles is it. And that is literally what he said in the chat. Frank, this is amazing, and the fact that the loop is finally closing is something that I've been looking forward to for a really long time. But since I finally got a hold of you on stage, there's the biggest piece of meat alpha that I could ask you for is when Season 0.
Yeah, so I was actually testing it out all morning, so the whole loop is in. Our goal was to release it this week. If it's not this week, it'll be early next week. So yeah, it's pretty imminent. Just kind of doing final polish, making sure everything's good, and then yeah, trying to improve other things and feedback that has come in. So yeah, I suspect it will probably be early next week, but I'll probably send out an update tomorrow to give a more accurate timeline if we don't deliver it this weekend. But in any case, it's really close, and yeah, the whole team is actively testing out the loop. So it's everything critical's in there. It's kind of just polish from here.
Alright, well, you heard the man. Make sure to keep an eye on the Wilder World announcements so that we actually find out when Season 0 is going to be there. But, however, the majority of Season 0 is already there, and me and King are going to walk you through the open world here shortly, right after we finish asking all the questions that we want for Frank. So if you do have questions, we have Frank Wilder on stage, ladies and gentlemen. Put them in the stream chat, and this is pretty much one of your few chances to get a direct live response. Don't get me wrong, they are very responsive in Zero, and you can pretty much tag the founders in the team, and they are very good at answering questions over there. But however, you got them live, so if you got questions, do mention them in the chat.
I've got
Nice.
like a billion questions, but all I want to say is if you want the black market domain for Zero, I'm the owner.
Oh, let's go.
Let's
Nice.
go. So
I love that.
yeah, like
Mark.
this is crazy how much stuff's coming to this right now. Like I just want to get in. I want to get in.
Yeah, it's been like, as you said, we're just kind of pushing, and there's all these critical things, which from the outside looking in, you know, whether it be like six months ago, it's maybe not so obvious in terms of like how we're developing things. But I think looking backwards, you know, bringing the packs and then
Yeah.
Yep.
Like,
loadout,
I've been-
customization, backpack, inventory, all these types of things. It's like they're kind of all critical building blocks. So
I can say as someone who I've not been around in this project as a lot of people say I'm like mega involved because I am since the time it was sold to me, right? And that started with some of those game nights, Pims, Loteen, like the info that you have open development, right? And to me, I came from Web 2 last year. OTG was my first step into Web 3 gaming, right?
Yep, I witnessed that as well.
Through Solana Gaming, touch base with Wilder World, and then I was there listening to the AMA that you guys came over and gave us. And when I started seeing this open development, the zines, everything, I just wanted to know more because I didn't think AAA development existed in the space until like I started seeing all these projects, core projects like, you know, Wilder World, OTG, Star Atlas, all these people making really big innovative things, right? And Wilder World just stuck out to me because there was just layers. There was just so many layers to it. And then the more I kept seeing, the development. But when we start from there, when I first landed, I was just stuck with loads of information, and then my brain was like, now it's a waiting game, right? But then packs happened, and then packs went into inventory. We opened the packs. Now we're equipping the packs. Now we're seeing some defaults of the vehicles. Now we're in the open world private. Now we're in the open world, everyone's in it. Now we've got core gameplay loops, and the journey from last year to now, for those that have had the ear to the ground, like it's just speeding up. Like,
Yeah,
like the
exactly.
scale,
Has-
everything.
Yeah, go
Yeah,
for
and
it.
that's where it's challenging too. Like, I mean, I think our cadence is good, but we even wanna ramp it up. But it's challenging with all these core systems, making sure that things are all working correctly. And we kind of shifted our strategy. Previously, our builds we would put a lot more, I guess, polish into, which might add like a month, honestly, to trying to release it. So that we really had to ask ourselves towards the beginning of this year, like, okay, do we want to really ramp up our development speed, or do we want to try and polish things as much as we can? And I think just based on where the project is at, where the world is at, things are so fast. We were like, okay, we got to be able to kind of willing to not have everything so polished. And yeah, if there's bugs or things like this, just get it out there. And our rule has been, as long as there's nothing game breaking, our goal is to get the release out, get the feedback, and then continue to polish. And so that's been a conscious choice that's made, and I think it's been a good choice. And I think as all these systems come in that are these core building blocks, there'll be much less from a core infrastructure perspective that we'll be trying to shift around and fit in, so that we'll be able to continually ramp up and I think increase speed on release times.
Especially when you're building at this scale.
Yeah. It's
for it,
difficult as well. It's difficult as well. Like early access was initially something that came out in gaming to give developers breathing room, right? And no one really used it in the truest sense when it initially came around. So psychologically, that made a lot of players go, "It says early access, but it's full release," and it's like a safeguard.
Yeah.
But then I'm in Web3 now, and I see Web3 projects use early access, and it's used in the truest sense. We are with super early access, and we are early, right? Like there's loads of things that are on the way, but we've hit massive milestones with all this that's coming out right now and over time. But it's super early, and like I always try to like educate a lot of people on that, where you are in a process which normally you have like 10 people with salaries doing this behind closed doors. So you have the opportunity to help guide this development process and give you input, but you got to respect the fact that these developers are grinding and they're making it work over time. Give them the time, right? And you guys, you're not hitting that. A lot of games hit grain breaking, like you say, but you guys aren't doing that. You're doing methodically. You're doing it structured. You're doing it right. Like I could have lost all my NFTs when you connected those inventories. My heart was pounding. You know what I mean? Like, but you did it right, and you took the times, but everything's getting hooked up the right way, right? And for that, I'm gonna give you all the time you need, because I see you cooking, and I'm eating. The pair is eating. We're all eating, right? Like, this is it. This
is it. I told you guys.
Just to, I guess, speak on the one inventory thing there too for Season 0. So. So for Season 0, what we're doing essentially is you'll still hold all of your on-chain items, but we are bringing everything to the game server side. So in your game inventory, you'll still have all of the items you own, and then all of those items will still live in your wallet. But all of the additional items that you earn in the mild, that's all happening game side. So this is essentially allowing us to, one, make sure the loop is good before we entirely bring it on chain. We have all the on-chain stuff built, but there's just, like, if anything changes there, it just is, it's a huge headache. So we want to make sure it's a lot faster and easier to iterate on the game server side. So you'll still have all your gear. That will continue to live in your wallet. But if you lose something that's in your wallet, you'll lose it for the duration of Season 0. That will still be in your wallet, but on the game server side, you would lose it. And then if you gain anything, you'll obviously have that in your game inventory. And then at the end of Season 0, after the kind of test is done, and we feel like we've got a clear clear idea on how it all needs to function on chain, then we'll kind of, bring it entirely on chain, and
So
you would
so
have
what you
everything in
collected
your.
season 0, it would all go on chain near the end of season 0.
Yeah, essentially, like season 0 is kind of this. There's still the on-chain items, but we're using a lot of really like the game server side to be able to tweak and iterate quickly. So say like season 0 is out for a week and there's some good feedback that comes in or something we want to tweak, we can change that very quickly. And then it's not like we're taking items back or anything like that. So it's kind of giving us the grace period to be able to test, tweak, and iterate. And then at the end of season 0, it would be a wipe on anything you earn in season 0. And you'd obviously still have all the items that you've collected via packs.
Yes. Well, that has been actually very, very insightful. However, everybody on the stream is still itching to see the open world, which we will be showcasing in about 2 to 3 minutes here. However,
Nice.
before wrapping the we can still keep the conversation going while playing, but it's just that this is Super Phoenix Sports and games is what we're all about all the time. So
we can dive in.
so we're gonna have to dive in here. But before diving in and actually changing the topic towards what we're seeing in the open world, is there anything you would like to say before we transition into the open world?
No, yeah, I guess just stay tuned for final release details. We are close, so we'll probably release an update tomorrow. We'll, of course, once the release goes live, have a zine with all the key details. And yeah, we will also introduce a leaderboard for season 0, which will live in the main menu. So there'll be, there'll kind of be a progression and leveling.
Well, I look forward to it. So now it's time for us to switch to the... Do you have your open world open up, King?